The ocean's surface zone, called the epipelagic zone, extends from the surface down to about 650 feet. This is where sunlight penetrates, making photosynthesis possible. Nearly all ocean life lives in this thin upper layer, less than 2% of the ocean's total volume. Ocean water is never perfectly still. Even on the calmest day, the surface moves with gentle swells. These swells can travel thousands of miles across an ocean, carrying energy from distant storms. A wave's height is measured from its trough to its crest, and the largest wind-driven wave ever recorded measured 62 feet high. The ocean appears blue because water absorbs colors in the red part of the spectrum and reflects blue light. Pure water is actually very slightly blue, but this becomes more apparent as depth increases. In some tropical areas, the water appears turquoise due to white sand reflecting light through the shallow water. Phytoplankton, microscopic plant-like organisms, produce over half of Earth's oxygen through photosynthesis. These tiny drifters form the base of the ocean food chain. A single drop of seawater can contain millions of phytoplankton. They're so numerous that astronauts can see their blooms from space as vast swirls of color. Zooplankton are tiny animals that drift with ocean currents. Many are larvae of larger creatures like crabs and fish. Every night, billions of zooplankton swim up from deeper waters to feed at the surface, then descend before dawn. This is called the Deal vertical migration, and it's the largest animal migration on Earth by biomass. Jellyfish have existed for over 500 million years, predating dinosaurs. They have no brain, heart, or bones, yet they've survived 5 mass extinctions. Some species are immortal, capable of reverting to their juvenile form after reaching maturity. The lion's mane jellyfish can have tentacles stretching over 120 feet, longer than a blue whale. Dolphins are among the ocean's most intelligent creatures. They use echolocation to navigate and hunt, emitting clicks that bounce off objects. Each dolphin has a unique whistle that functions like a name. They've been observed using tools, teaching their young, and even mourning their dead. Sea turtles have been swimming Earth's oceans for over 100 million years. They can hold their breath for several hours while sleeping underwater. Female sea turtles return to the exact beach where they were born to lay their eggs, sometimes traveling thousands of miles. Scientists believe they navigate using Earth's magnetic field. Coral reefs, though covering less than 1% of the ocean floor, support about 25% of all marine species. Corals are actually colonies of tiny animals called polyps. They have a symbiotic relationship with algae called zooxanthellae, which provide them food through photosynthesis and give reefs their vibrant colors. The Great Barrier Reef off Australia's coast is the largest living structure on Earth, spanning over 1,400 miles. It's visible from space and consists of over 2,900 individual reefs and 900 islands. The reef is home to 1,500 species of fish, 411 types of hard coral, and countless other organisms. The mesopelagic or twilight zone extends from 650 feet to 3,300 feet deep. Sunlight penetrates here, but it's too dim for photosynthesis. This mysterious realm exists in perpetual twilight. The water pressure at this depth is about 100 times greater than at the surface. Many twilight zone creatures produce their own light through bioluminescence. This is created by a chemical reaction involving a molecule called luciferin and an enzyme called luciferase. About 90% of deep-sea creatures can create light. They use it to attract prey, find mates, and confuse predators. The lanternfish is one of the most abundant fish on Earth, with an estimated population in the quadrillions. These small fish have light-producing organs called photophores along their bodies. Each species has a unique pattern like a fingerprint. Lanternfish play a crucial role in the ocean's carbon cycle. The vampire squid lives in the twilight zone and has the largest eyes relative to body size of any animal. Despite its name, it doesn't suck blood. When threatened, it can turn itself inside out, exposing spines that make it look larger. It can also produce bioluminescent mucus that glows for up to 10 minutes. Hatchetfish have thin, deep bodies that look like the blade of an axe. Their silvery sides act as mirrors, making them nearly invisible when viewed from the side. They produce light from their bellies to match the faint light from above, eliminating their shadow. This camouflage technique is called counterillumination. The twilight zone contains more fish biomass than all other ocean zones combined. Scientists estimate this zone holds 10 times more fish than previously thought. These fish process vast amounts of carbon dioxide, helping regulate Earth's climate by storing carbon in the deep ocean. Sperm whales dive into the twilight zone to hunt giant squid, their primary prey. They can hold their breath for up to 90 minutes and dive to depths exceeding 7,000 feet. The pressure at these depths would crush most creatures, but sperm whales have flexible rib cages that collapse, allowing their organs to compress safely. Deep-sea dragonfish are fierce predators despite being only 6 inches long. They have enormous teeth that don't fit in their mouths. Some species produce red bioluminescence, which most deep-sea creatures can't see. This gives dragonfish a secret searchlight to find prey without being detected. The twilight zone is home to the largest animal migration on Earth. Each night, trillions of small fish and invertebrates swim up to surface waters to feed. At dawn, they descend back to the safety of darker depths. This daily journey can cover hundreds of feet and helps transport nutrients throughout the ocean. Barreleye fish have transparent heads, allowing light to reach their eyes from above. Their tubular eyes point upward, searching for the silhouettes of prey. Inside their clear dome, their eyes can rotate forward when they're ready to feed. These bizarre fish were only filmed alive in their natural habitat in 2004. The bathypelagic or midnight zone extends from 3,300 feet to 13,100 feet deep. No sunlight reaches this realm. The temperature hovers just above freezing, typically between 39 and 37 degrees Fahrenheit. The pressure is crushing, over 5,800 pounds per square inch, enough to compress styrofoam cups to the size of thimbles. In complete darkness, many midnight zone creatures have evolved enormous eyes to capture any available light. Others have lost their eyes entirely, relying on other senses. Some fish have developed sensitive lateral lines that detect the tiniest water movements, essentially allowing them to feel their surroundings. The anglerfish is perhaps the midnight zone's most famous resident. Female anglerfish have a bioluminescent lure dangling from their heads to attract prey. Males are tiny, sometimes just inches long, and bite onto females, fusing permanently. The male's body degenerates until he's just a pair of gonads providing sperm. Giant squid, the legendary creatures of sailors' tales, live in the midnight zone. They can grow up to 43 feet long and have the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, each up to 10 inches in diameter. These eyes can detect sperm whales from 400 feet away in near total darkness. Despite being filmed only a handful of times, scientists estimate there could be as many as 8 million giant squid in the world's oceans. They remain one of the ocean's great mysteries. The first photographs of a living giant squid in its natural habitat weren't taken until 2004. The colossal squid is even larger than the giant squid and lives in Antarctic waters. It has rotating hooks on its tentacles and can grow even heavier than its relative. A colossal squid caught in 2007 weighed over 1,000 pounds. Its eyes are the largest of any animal, adapted to see in the darkest depths. Viperfish have teeth so large they can't close their mouths completely. These fangs curve back almost to their eyes. They attract prey with a bioluminescent lure and strike with lightning speed. A viperfish can swim at normal speed with its mouth closed or open, a remarkable adaptation. Gulper eels can swallow prey larger than themselves. Their mouths are disproportionately huge and their stomachs can stretch to accommodate large meals. They have a light organ at the tip of their whip-like tails. Despite their appearance, they're not true eels but belong to a different order of fish. Food is scarce in the midnight zone. Most creatures here are opportunistic feeders, eating whatever they can catch. Marine snow, a steady rain of organic debris from above, provides nutrition. This includes dead plankton, fecal matter, and other particles that drift down from the surface. When large animals like whales die and sink, they create whale falls that sustain communities for decades. A single whale carcass can support over 400 species and millions of individual organisms. These oases in the desert of the deep provide enough food to last 50 to 100 years. Fong-tooth fish have the largest teeth proportional to body size of any ocean fish. Despite their fearsome appearance, they're only about 6 inches long. They're found at depths where the pressure would instantly crush a human. Young fong-tooth look completely different from adults and were classified as separate species for years. The abyssal zone extends from 13,100 feet to 19,700 feet. This is the largest habitat on Earth, covering about 60% of the planet's surface. The temperature is near freezing, between 32 and 37 degrees Fahrenheit. The pressure exceeds 11,000 pounds per square inch, hundreds of times greater than at the surface. The abyssal plain is remarkably flat, one of the flattest regions on Earth. Sediment has been accumulating here for millions of years, smoothing out the underlying rocky terrain. In some areas, the sediment is over half a mile thick. This soft bottom is home to countless small creatures that burrow through the mud. Tripod fish stand on the seafloor using elongated fins like stilts. They face into the current with their fins spread, filtering food particles from the water. These patient hunters can wait motionless for hours. They're hermaphrodites, possessing both male and female organs, likely an adaptation to the sparse population. Sea cucumbers are abundant on the abyssal plains. They crawl slowly across the bottom, feeding on organic particles in the sediment. Some species look like swimming cucumbers, others like spiky caterpillars. When threatened, some can expel their internal organs as a distraction, then regenerate them. Grenadier fish, also called rat-tails, are among the most common fish in the abyss. They have large heads with sensory organs that detect chemical signatures in the water. Their bodies taper to thin tails. Some species grow up to 6 feet long, making them giants of the deep. The seafloor is covered in mysterious geometric patterns created by small creatures. Some look like crop circles, others like paths or burrows. Scientists are still discovering what makes them. Many are feeding traces left by organisms as they search for food in the sediment. Glass sponges have been alive for thousands of years. Some specimens are over 10,000 years old, making them among the longest-lived creatures on Earth. Their skeletons are made of silica, the same material as glass. They filter enormous amounts of water, extracting nutrients from the steady rain of marine snow. Deep-sea octopuses are ghostly pale and move slowly to conserve energy. The Dumbo octopus, named for its ear-like fins, flaps these appendages to swim. They're the deepest living octopuses, found at depths below 13,000 feet. Unlike shallow water octopuses, they swallow their prey whole. Abyssal gigantism is a phenomenon where deep-sea creatures grow much larger than their shallow water relatives. Giant isopods can reach 16 inches long, compared to their tiny pillbug cousins on land. Scientists believe this may be due to cold temperatures slowing metabolism, allowing longer growth periods. The abyss is not entirely barren. Hydrothermal vents create oases of life on the seafloor. These vents occur where seawater seeps into cracks in the Earth's crust, gets heated by magma, and shoots back out at temperatures exceeding 750 degrees Fahrenheit. The water is loaded with minerals and chemicals. Around hydrothermal vents, entire ecosystems thrive without sunlight. Instead of photosynthesis, bacteria use chemosynthesis, deriving energy from chemicals in the vent fluids. These bacteria form the base of the food chain. Giant tube worms, some over 8 feet long, host these bacteria in their bodies. Vent communities can include eyeless shrimp, hairy yeti crabs, and scale worms. These creatures cluster around the vent's warm waters. The yeti crab farms bacteria on its hairy arms and eats them. These ecosystems are so isolated that many species are found nowhere else on Earth. The Hadal Zone, named for Hades, the Greek underworld, includes all ocean trenches deeper than 19,700 feet. These trenches are the deepest parts of the ocean, formed where tectonic plates collide and one slides beneath another. Only a few people have ever descended to these depths. The Mariana Trench in the western Pacific is the deepest place on Earth. Its lowest point, Challenger Deep, reaches 36,070 feet below sea level. If Mount Everest were placed in the trench, its peak would still be over a mile underwater. The pressure at the bottom exceeds 16,000 pounds per square inch. In 1960, Jacques Picard and Don Walsh became the first humans to reach Challenger Deep in the Bathyscaphe Trieste. They spent only 20 minutes at the bottom. Director James Cameron made a solo descent in 2012, staying for nearly 3 hours. Only a handful of people have ever been this deep. More people have walked on the moon than have visited the deepest part of the ocean. Space is actually more accessible than the deep sea. The pressure and corrosive salt water make deep ocean exploration extremely challenging. Creating a vessel that can withstand these conditions is an incredible engineering feat. Despite the extreme conditions, life exists even in the Hadal Zone. Scientists have found amphipods, small shrimp-like creatures, thriving at the bottom of trenches. These scavengers feed on organic matter that falls from above. Some Hadal amphipods grow quite large, reaching several inches in length. Snailfish hold the record for the deepest living fish ever recorded. Scientists filmed one at 27,460 feet in the Mariana Trench. These ghostly fish are translucent and have no scales. They've adapted to the crushing pressure with flexible bones and special proteins that protect their cells. Hadal trenches act as collecting pools for the ocean. Sediment and organic material accumulate faster here than on abyssal plains. This creates relatively food-rich environments compared to surrounding areas. Some trenches have unique communities of bacteria that break down this material. The Hadal Zone is one of the least explored environments on Earth. Scientists believe there could be millions of undiscovered species in the deep ocean. Each deep-sea expedition discovers new species. Some estimates suggest we've only discovered a tiny fraction of deep-sea life. Sadly, human pollution has reached even the deepest trenches. Plastic bags and microplastics have been found at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Amphipods from the deepest parts of the ocean contained high levels of industrial pollutants. No part of the ocean remains untouched by human activity. The Tonga Trench in the South Pacific reaches depths of over 35,000 feet. The Puerto Rico Trench is the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean, at 28,232 feet. The Java Trench in the Indian Ocean plunges to 23,917 feet. Each trench has its own unique ecosystem. The ocean contains approximately 321 million cubic miles of water. If all this water were spread evenly over Earth's surface, it would form a layer about 8,800 feet deep. Ocean water contains about 35 grams of salt per kilogram. If you removed all the salt from the ocean, it would cover the continents in a layer 500 feet thick. Ocean currents are like rivers within the sea, moving vast amounts of water around the globe. The Gulf Stream carries 30 times more water than all the world's rivers combined. These currents distribute heat from the equator toward the poles, regulating Earth's climate and making some regions habitable. The thermohaline circulation, often called the global conveyor belt, moves water around the entire planet. Cold, dense water sinks in the North Atlantic and flows through the deep ocean. It can take 1,000 years for water to complete the journey. This circulation plays a crucial role in regulating global climate. Rogue waves are massive walls of water that appear without warning in the open ocean. They can reach heights of over 80 feet and are powerful enough to damage large ships. For centuries they were considered sailors' myths, but satellites have confirmed they're real and surprisingly common. The ocean floor has more mountains, valleys, and varied terrain than the continents. The mid-ocean ridge system is the longest mountain range on Earth, stretching over 40,000 miles. These underwater mountains were formed by volcanic activity as tectonic plates spread apart. Underwater volcanoes, called seamounts, number in the tens of thousands. Many rise thousands of feet from the seafloor but remain submerged. These underwater mountains create upwelling currents that bring nutrients to the surface, making them hotspots for marine life. Some seamounts host unique species found nowhere else. The ocean produces sounds that travel for hundreds or thousands of miles. The bloop, a mysterious ultra-low frequency sound detected in 1997, was so loud it was heard by sensors thousands of miles apart. Scientists now believe it was the sound of an iceberg calving or breaking apart. Blue whales, the largest animals ever to exist, produce sounds louder than a jet engine. Their calls can reach 188 decibels and travel across entire ocean basins. Males sing complex songs that can last up to 36 hours. Scientists believe these songs help whales communicate over vast distances. The ocean absorbs about 30% of the carbon dioxide humans produce. This helps slow climate change but makes the ocean more acidic. Ocean acidification threatens coral reefs and shell-forming creatures. The ocean has absorbed over 150 billion metric tons of carbon since the Industrial Revolution. Methane hydrates are ice-like formations of methane trapped in water molecules. They exist in massive deposits on the seafloor and in Arctic permafrost. Some scientists estimate these deposits contain more carbon than all fossil fuels combined. If released suddenly, they could dramatically affect global climate. Brine pools are underwater lakes of extremely salty water on the seafloor. They're so dense that submarines can float on them. These pools are toxic to most marine life but host unique communities of bacteria and tube worms along their shores. They form when salt deposits dissolve and settle in depressions. Cold seeps are areas where methane and other hydrocarbons leak from the seafloor. Like hydrothermal vents, they support unique ecosystems based on chemosynthesis. Giant mussels, clams, and tube worms cluster around these seeps. Some of these communities have existed for thousands of years. The blue whale is not only the largest animal alive today but the largest animal that has ever lived. They can reach lengths of 100 feet and weigh up to 200 tons. Their hearts weigh as much as a car and beat just 5 to 6 times per minute when diving. A human could swim through their largest blood vessels. Despite their enormous size, blue whales feed on tiny shrimp-like creatures called krill. They can consume 4 tons of krill per day. Blue whales use baleen plates to filter feed, taking huge gulps of water and forcing it out through the baleen, trapping krill inside. A single mouthful can contain 500,000 calories. Whale sharks are the largest fish in the ocean, growing up to 40 feet long. Despite their size, they're gentle filter feeders, eating plankton and small fish. Each whale shark has a unique pattern of spots like a fingerprint. They can live for over 100 years and migrate thousands of miles. The giant manta ray has a wingspan that can exceed 23 feet. These graceful creatures filter feed on plankton as they glide through the water. Manta rays are highly intelligent and have the largest brain-to-body ratio of any fish. They've been observed recognizing themselves in mirrors, a sign of self-awareness. The ocean sunfish, or mola mola, is the heaviest bony fish, weighing up to 5,000 pounds. They look like a fish head with a tail. Sunfish eat jellyfish almost exclusively and must consume huge quantities to support their size. They're often seen basking at the surface, possibly to warm up after deep dives. Great white sharks can grow over 20 feet long and weigh more than 5,000 pounds. They can detect a single drop of blood in 25 gallons of water and sense electrical fields from muscle contractions. Great whites can breach completely out of the water when attacking seals, sometimes jumping 10 feet in the air. The largest bony fish is the ocean sunfish, but the largest fish overall is debated. The whale shark wins in length, but some great white sharks rival sunfish in weight. The largest invertebrate is the colossal squid, which can reach enormous sizes. The largest arthropod is the Japanese spider crab, with leg spans over 12 feet. Basking sharks are the second largest fish, growing up to 40 feet. Like whale sharks, they're filter feeders. They swim with their enormous mouths open, filtering up to 2,000 tons of water per hour. In winter, they're believed to shed their gill rakers and live off body reserves. Humpback whales are known for their complex songs and spectacular breaching behavior. Males sing songs lasting up to 20 minutes and repeat them for hours. All males in a region sing the same song, which evolves over time. Humpbacks migrate up to 16,000 miles round trip, one of the longest migrations of any mammal. Giant Pacific octopuses are the largest octopuses, with arm spans reaching 16 feet. They're highly intelligent and can solve complex problems. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. They can squeeze through any opening larger than their hard beak, the only rigid part of their body. Deep-sea creatures have evolved remarkable adaptations to survive crushing pressure, near-freezing temperatures and total darkness. Many have soft bodies without air pockets which would be compressed. Their cells contain special molecules that prevent proteins from being crushed. Some deep-sea fish have antifreeze proteins in their blood that prevent ice crystals from forming. These proteins are so effective that the fish can survive in water below the normal freezing point of blood. Scientists are studying these proteins for potential applications in frozen food preservation and medicine. The scaly dragonfish has a stomach that can stretch to accommodate prey larger than itself. Its black stomach prevents bioluminescent prey from shining through and attracting predators. This fish is one of the few creatures that can produce and see red light, giving it a secret advantage. Mimic octopuses can impersonate other sea creatures to avoid predators. They've been observed mimicking lionfish, sea snakes, and jellyfish. They change not only their color and texture but also their behavior and movement patterns. This requires sophisticated intelligence and body control. Cuttlefish have the ability to change color and pattern in a fraction of a second. They have millions of chromatophores in their skin, special cells they can expand and contract. Remarkably, cuttlefish are colorblind, yet they perfectly match their surroundings. Scientists don't fully understand how they accomplish this. The mantis shrimp has the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom. They can see ultraviolet, visible, and polarized light. They have 16 types of color receptors compared to humans' 3. Mantis shrimp can punch with acceleration equal to a .22 caliber bullet, creating cavitation bubbles and shock waves. Hagfish produce slime as a defense mechanism. When threatened, they can create liters of sticky slime in seconds. This slime clogs the gills of predators. Hagfish can tie themselves in knots to remove the slime from their own bodies. They're the only animals with a skull but no vertebral column. Electric rays can generate electrical shocks of up to 220 volts, enough to stun prey or deter predators. Electric eels, actually a type of knife fish, can produce even stronger shocks of over 800 volts. They use these shocks for navigation, communication, and hunting. The immortal jellyfish can reverse its aging process. After reaching maturity, it can transform back into a polyp stage and start over. Theoretically, this cycle could continue indefinitely, making the species biologically immortal. However, they can still die from disease or predation. Box jellyfish have 24 eyes arranged in clusters around their bell. Despite having no brain, they can navigate obstacle courses and exhibit complex behavior. Their venom is among the most deadly in the animal kingdom. A sting from some species can kill a human within minutes. From the sunlit surface to the deepest trenches, the ocean remains Earth's final frontier. We've explored only 5% of this vast realm. Countless species await discovery in the darkness. Strange creatures survive in conditions that seem impossible, adapting in ways we're only beginning to understand. The ocean regulates our climate, produces much of our oxygen, and feeds billions of people. It's been crucial to human history, providing food, transportation, and wonder. Yet we've treated it carelessly, filling it with pollution and depleting its resources. The ocean needs our protection now more than ever. As you drift toward sleep, imagine floating in warm tropical waters, sunlight filtering through the gentle waves above. Feel yourself slowly descending through the twilight zone, watching bioluminescent creatures sparkle in the darkness. Sink deeper into the peaceful abyss, where the pressure of the world above fades away. The ocean is a world of wonder and mystery, of beauty and strangeness. It reminds us that Earth still holds secrets, that there are places humanity has barely touched. As you rest tonight, the ocean continues its eternal rhythms, waves rising and falling, tides ebbing and flowing, life thriving in every depth. Sweet dreams of the deep blue sea. May visions of underwater worlds and gentle currents carry you into peaceful sleep. The ocean is vast and calm, and tonight, you are cradled in its depths, safe and serene.